A direct hit on Russia's war machine. On October 21, 2025, Ukrainian forces executed a significant long-range strike deep inside Russian territory. The target was the Bryansk chemical plant, a facility crucial to Moscow's ongoing war effort. The attack took place under the cover of night, resulting in massive explosions and fires. Videos quickly circulated across social media platforms. In a move that broke from previous patterns, Ukraine's general staff posted on Telegram, officially claiming responsibility for the attack. Their statement declared that the armed forces had successfully struck the plant, a critical node in Russia's war machine. The strike was framed as a necessary and legitimate military action, aimed squarely at degrading Russia's offensive capabilities by disrupting its logistical and production backbone. This public acknowledgement marked a significant evolution in Ukraine's information strategy. For months, Kyiv had cultivated a policy of strategic ambiguity for deep strikes, neither confirming nor denying involvement. Now, rather than ambiguity, Kyiv chose to be direct. This was a calculated psychological blow, sending a clear and unmistakable message to the Kremlin and the Russian public that its industrial heartland, once considered untouchable, was no longer a safe haven. The front lines, in effect, had been extended hundreds of kilometers. The weapon of choice for this audacious mission was the British-made Storm Shadow cruise missile, known in France as Scalp EG. It's an air-launched, stealthy, and exceptionally precise weapon, designed specifically to evade sophisticated air defenses by flying low to the ground, masking its approach with the terrain. The use of such a sophisticated, Western-supplied weapon was a powerful symbol of deep and enduring cooperation between Ukraine and its allies. More critically, the strike's undeniable success exposed glaring gaps in Russia's vaunted multi-layered air defense network. It suggested that defenses were either stretched too thin, concentrated elsewhere, or simply incapable of detecting and intercepting low-flying cruise missiles, vulnerabilities Ukraine was now clearly willing and able to exploit. The timing of the strike was also highly significant, occurring amid a period of shifting geopolitics and intense debate among Ukraine's partners. It followed prolonged discussions in Washington over the potential supply of even longer-range systems like Tomahawk missiles, and came on the heels of the cancellation of a planned US-Russia summit, signaling a deepening freeze in diplomatic relations. The Bryansk chemical plant was not just any industrial facility. It was a linchpin in the Russian Federation's military-industrial complex, a critical node producing materials essential for modern warfare. Gunpowder, high explosives used in artillery shells, bombs, and other conventional munitions feeding the front. Hitting this facility was a direct blow to Russia's ability to sustain offensive operations and replenish dwindling stockpiles. Beyond basic explosives, it manufactured solid rocket fuel components, vital for producing the missiles used against Ukrainian cities. Disrupting propellant creates a bottleneck in Russia's missile pipeline, potentially reducing future missile barrage intensity. Just 78 miles, about 125 kilometers, from Ukraine's border, it enabled rapid resupply to forces near Ukraine, and taking it offline complicates Russia's logistics. The primary weapon used was the Storm Shadow cruise missile, developed jointly by the United Kingdom and France, known as Scalp EG. Designed for deep strike missions on fixed, high-value targets, it is fire and forget once released from an aircraft. Range is roughly 155 to 180 miles. It can launch from Ukrainian airspace and still reach deep targets. Stealthy, low-altitude flight helps it stay below radar envelopes. A final pop-up and dive complicate interception, with high subsonic speed around Mach 0.8. Its broach warhead penetrates first, then detonates inside to maximize damage. Against a chemical plant, that can trigger devastating secondary explosions. But each missile is expensive, near $1 million, and finite. Ukraine reserves Storm Shadow for selective high-impact targets like Bryansk. The attack on Bryansk wasn't a simple strike. It was a masterclass in modern combined arms, meticulously planned to overcome formidable defenses. The first step was intelligence. Ukrainian and Allied surveillance pinpointed critical gaps in Russia's air defense network, areas where radar coverage was weak or intermittent. With these vulnerabilities mapped, the operational sequence began. Electronic warfare, or EW, assets likely initiated the assault, broadcasting powerful signals to jam Russian search and acquisition radars. This electronic fog blinded defenders, creating confusion and delaying their response time, effectively making them deaf and blind to the incoming threat. With Russian sensors compromised, the next phase unfolded. Swarms of low-cost, one-way attack drones were sent in as decoys. Their mission was twofold: to mimic the radar signature of larger, more valuable missiles and to soak up Russia's precious interceptors. This tactic forced Russian air defense crews into a difficult choice: either fire on the incoming targets, revealing their positions and expending limited and expensive surface-to-air missiles, or hold their fire and risk letting a real threat through. By engaging the decoys, they gave away their locations, which were immediately relayed to the main strike package. With the path cleared and defenses saturated, safe corridors were opened for the real weapons, the Storm Shadow cruise missiles, to get through undetected. This complex operation exploited a deeper, systemic weakness. Years of attrition from the ongoing conflict have left Russia's air defenses stretched thin and severely degraded. The sheer vastness of Russian territory forces its military into making hard choices about what to protect. High-value assets like the Kremlin are heavily defended, but protecting every city, military base, and piece of critical infrastructure is an impossible task. Bryansk, despite its strategic importance, was not protected well enough to stop a well-planned and multi-layered assault. The timing of the strike was also a powerful form of strategic messaging. It landed amid international debates over supplying Ukraine with long-range missiles like the American Tomahawk, demonstrating unequivocally that even without them, Ukraine possesses the capability and ingenuity to strike high-value targets deep inside Russian territory. The Bryansk attack was therefore more than a military action. It was a clear statement of intent and capability. Through this strike, Ukraine signaled its resolve to keep striking back, to hold Russia accountable for its aggression, and to take the fight to the aggressor. It also drew a sharp contrast, framing Ukraine's precision doctrine against military targets with Russia's widespread attacks on civilian population centers. Ukrainian leaders had publicly vowed a policy of reciprocity, to respond to every Russian strike with a calibrated and proportional use of force. The destruction at Bryansk fulfilled that promise, a powerful act of retribution aimed squarely at a legitimate military-industrial objective. The impact of the strike on the Bryansk plant was significant, but the consequences rippled far beyond its perimeter. This wasn't just about hitting a single factory. It was about triggering a wider, more complex set of failures across Russia's western regions. Almost immediately, reports flooded in pointing to widespread power outages and secondary fires at critical energy sites. These weren't random incidents, but appeared to be part of a coordinated effort. One of the most critical targets was a key electrical substation near Bryansk. Taking a facility like this offline doesn't just darken homes. It cripples rail lines, paralyzes industrial production, and severs communication networks that rely on its power. Further north in the Smolensk region, a thermal power plant was reportedly ablaze following a drone alert, compounding the energy crisis. These events fit a clear and devastating pattern of multi-pronged attacks, simultaneously targeting Russia's logistical capacity and its energy backbone. By disrupting power, transportation, and communications all at once, the operation was designed to compound chaos and maximize paralysis. This is the doctrine of cascading failures, where a single, well-placed strike can trigger a domino effect, creating systemic disruption that is far more damaging than the initial explosion. As has become grimly predictable, Russia retaliated swiftly, launching a massive wave of missile and drone attacks against Ukrainian cities. These strikes appeared to aim largely at civilian areas, causing deaths and injuries, and inflicting terror on the population in a punitive response. The asymmetry in strategy is stark. Ukraine's precision strikes degrade Russia's ability to wage war, while Russia's response often seems intended to punish and terrorize. Ultimately, the Bryansk operation signals a new phase of the conflict, demonstrating a mature deep strike capability for Ukraine. This is a strategic shift from simple harassment to a methodical campaign aimed at systematically dismantling Russia's war economy from within. But to sustain this pressure and continue degrading Russia's military-industrial complex, Ukraine needs a steady supply of more long-range missiles. Each successful deep strike serves as a powerful argument, leveraging battlefield success to unlock faster and more substantial Allied deliveries.